Hello. Welcome to the Multi-Dimensional Shift podcast. This is your girl, Nee. We are here to connect through love, empathy, and high vibrations. Let's tap in. So this episode, we're tapping into the facet of evolution. So you ever heard someone say the vibe was off or I'm protecting my peace? We throw those phrases around, but most people don't realize that energy is measurable. Literally. Everything in this universe vibrates at a certain frequency. Your body, your thoughts, your emotions, even when you're still vibrating. And just like inches measures length or pounds measures weight, energy is measured in hertz. That's the unit of frequency. So when people say raise your vibration, it's not just spiritual talk, it's energetic science. There's something called the emotional frequency chart or the emotional vibration chart that organizes emotions from the lowest frequency to the highest. For my visual learners, I will place a diagram somewhere on the screen so you could follow along as I speak. At the bottom, you've got emotions like shame, guilt, apathy, grief, and fear. These are the heavier states that pull your energy down. As you move upward, you step into courage, willingness, acceptance, love, joy, peace, and alignment. Think of it like a radio station. If shame is 20 FM and love is 500 FM, you can't hear what's playing on 500 if you're tuned into 20. That's why some environments feel draining, while others feel expansive. It's all vibration. Here's where it gets interesting. Energy and psychology actually meet in the same place. If you've heard of cognitive behavioral therapy, it teaches that your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all connected. Your feelings influence your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions reinforce the frequency you live in. So if you're operating in fear, your thoughts will align with that fear. I can't do this. It's not safe. Something bad's gonna happen. And those thoughts create actions rooted in avoidance or self-doubt. But if you start from a higher frequency, like love or courage, your thoughts sound different. I can figure this out. I deserve peace. Let's find a way. And those thoughts naturally lead to more empowering actions. So in real life terms, your vibration isn't just what you feel, it's what you think, and ultimately, what you do. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. That's why self-awareness is power, because once you identify your dominant emotion, you can start to shift the frequency behind your thoughts. So let's take it a step deeper. We just talked about how our emotions vibrate on different frequencies and how our thoughts and behaviors reflect those same vibrations. Now I want to tie it into something that helps explain why people vibrate differently. And that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow created this pyramid that represents human motivation and development. It's basically the roadmap of human evolution, not just physical, but psychological and spiritual too. Let's break it down in a real world way. First one is physiological needs, your survival mode. This is the base of the pyramid. It's about your most basic needs: food, water, sleep, air, shelter. When you're here, your body and your mind are focused on one thing: survival. You're not thinking about enlightenment. You're thinking, how do I eat? Where do I live? How do I make it tomorrow? On the emotional frequency chart, this correlates with the lowest vibration: fear, shame, guilt, apathy. Because when your basic needs aren't met, your nervous system stays in fight or flight. You're not vibrating low because you're less spiritual. Your body is just trying to stay alive. The next one on the pyramid is safety and security, which equates to your stability. Once your physical needs are met, your energy moves towards wanting stability, safety in your environment, your finances, your relationships. You want to feel like you're not in danger. This is where trust starts to form. People vibrating here often struggle with anxiety or control because the fear of losing safety keeps the mind running. When you start to feel safe, your frequency naturally rises. You move out of survival and into stability, which opens the door for growth. The next one on the pyramid is love and belonging. After you feel safe, the next level is love and belonging. Intimacy, friendship, community, connection. It's about emotional safety now. This stage aligns with the middle frequencies: courage, neutrality, and acceptance. Because once you have stability, your spirit starts to crave connection. You begin to vibrate higher because you realize I'm not meant to do life alone. And if you've ever been betrayed or abandoned, this stage can be tricky. You'll protect your heart out of fear, which can pull you back down to lower vibrations like shame or grief. So healing relationships and boundaries is what allows you to stay in the higher, loving frequencies. The next on the pyramid is esteem, confidence, and worth. Now we're moving higher up into the pyramid. This level is all about self-esteem, respect, purpose, and recognition. You start to say, I know who I am and what I bring to the table. In terms of energy, this stage aligns with willingness and confidence, where you start to attract opportunities because your energy radiates belief. But here's the catch. If your self-worth depends on external validation, that vibration is unstable. The real goal is inner validation. When your value isn't determined by who applauds, but by who you've become. The next on the pyramid is self-actualization. This is the top of the original pyramid. Self-actualization is when you move from survival to service. You live intentionally, express creatively, and operate from alignment. Here, your vibration matches love, joy, peace, and alignment. The highest emotional frequency. You're no longer driven by fear or ego. You're guided by purpose and flow. You stop chasing and you start attracting what resonates with who you've evolved into. And some even add a sixth level, self-transcendence. When you realize it's not just about you anymore, it's about uplifting others and contributing to the collective shift. That's the ultimate frequency, unity. So ask yourself, what emotion are you most often vibrating in? Not just the one you show people, but your real baseline. Is it peace? Is it anxiety? Is it resentment? Because that's your current frequency. And once you're aware of it, you can shift it with meditation, gratitude, forgiveness, even deep breathing. These are not cliche. They're frequency shifters that help you move from contraction to expansion. Evolution isn't just about changing the world. It's about learning to tune your own frequency so you can move through the world lighter. When you shift, everything around you shifts. The environment, your relationships, your opportunities, they all start to match your new vibration. That's why this facet is called evolution, because your external reality is only reflecting your internal frequency. So if you're ready to evolve, start by listening to the silent music you're already playing and ask yourself, is this the frequency I want my life to dance to? Everything is energy. And energy is contagious. So be intentional about what you emit. Because when you vibrate higher, you elevate the collective. And that concludes the Multidimensional Shift podcast, Love and Empathy.